Saying no is easy, like literally just saying the word no. But situations where you want to say no can be not as easy. In English, we rarely directly just say no. Why? Sometimes you want to sound polite and not rude, or chill but not cold. And sometimes you just don't want people to think that you're a jerk for saying no. Let's look at 15 different ways to say no in English that will make your English sound natural, friendly, and confident. Of course, the way you say no depends on the context of your conversation. I'll break the 15 no's into 5 different scenarios. Saying no to offers, invitations, requests, being casual, or being strong. Let's start with refusing offers. Number 1 on our list is no thank you. Okay, yes, I'm cheating a little bit. This still uses the word no, but most importantly, it softens it with thank you. This is one of the most common ways to say no, especially without being too direct. We want to be polite. We don't want to be too direct, which can sometimes make us seem rude or unfriendly. It's important to remember here that being less direct in English in many situations is obviously more polite. If you want to be really casual, you can simply say no, thanks. Much shorter, a little more casual, but still perfectly fine. A simple example. Would you like some coffee? No, thank you. Would you like a glass of water? No, thanks. For an even more casual alternative, in our number 2 spot, we have I'm good, thanks. This is even less direct. It's a very casual and friendly way to say no. For example, do you want to drink one more beer? I'm good, thanks. There's an implication here that you appreciate the offer, but for the meantime, you are already satisfied. You don't need another beer. You've had enough beer. But there are times where you want to imply that the satisfaction is temporary. For that, we can use not right now. It's very much a temporary no. You don't want to accept the offer right now, but there is a time in the future where you might say yes. For example, would you like some cake? Not right now, thanks. But if I'm offered after recording this video, I'm definitely saying yes. Let's shift our focus over to invitations. To start off with, maybe another time. This is similar to not right now that we just covered, but it's more specific to invitations. You use it when you want to say no to decline an invitation, but you still want to sound friendly. Again, you're implying here that it's a no this time, but maybe in the future it's a yes. You don't want to say no forever. You want to show that next time you want to receive an invitation again, maybe it will be a yes. This can help keep your relationship positive. As a variation of this, we can say, not this time. Not this time. Again, it's a variation of the previous example, but it gives the impression that you have a reason. Normally you would say yes, you want to go, but maybe there's a reason that you cannot go. So you say, not this time. For example, do you want to come to the barbecue this Saturday? Not this time. Of course, there are situations where you do need to be more firm with your no. For that, we can use I'd rather not. I'd rather not. This is much stronger. You have a preference not to do something. It's still polite, but it's firm, especially in a situation where you are uncomfortable doing something. Want to go to the club? I'd rather not. In this example, it shows that I don't like going clubbing or to clubs. I'd rather not. So that person probably won't invite me next time to the club. For number 7, we're going to move on to declining requests or saying no to requests. First on the list here at number 7 is I'm afraid not. This is a very formal and professional way to decline a request. This is a good one to use at work and school. It's very gentle and importantly quite respectful, even though your response is negative. For example, if your boss or your teacher asks you, "Did you finish the report?" "I'm afraid not." You are almost showing some disappointment in yourself here. You're almost kind of saying sorry in a way. So keep this one for any professional situations. At number 8, as a gentle refusal or when you're unsure about something, you can say, "I don't think so." "I don't think so." For example, "Can you lend me your laptop?" "I don't think so." The implication here is that I'm not sure if I'm going to need it. Sometimes casually, people will instead say, "I don't think I can." It's used in very similar situations to this. Maybe you need to use it yourself, so it's a gentle refusal. A warning with this one that your tone is very important. Saying, "I don't think so," can actually be very direct, almost offensive sometimes. It makes it seem like it was a silly request for that person to ask you, so make sure that you say it quite softly. "I don't think so," or "I don't think I can." Of course, there are times where we do need to be very firm with our no. It doesn't mean we need to be rude. We can still be polite. For this, we have, "That's out of the question." That's out of the question. This is when a request is impossible or unacceptable. But don't get me wrong, this is still firm and professional. You can definitely still use this at work or at school. For example, "Can we skip the safety test?" That's out of the question. It's something that must be done. There is a very good reason why it must be done and that this request has a no. This is a very strong refusal, but again, still formal and polite. Okay, we're up to number 10 now. Let's move on to some more fun ones and let's talk about some used in everyday English. One of my personal favorites is nope. Super relaxed, super casual, very easy to say, not rude when used in the right situation. In particular, make sure you use this with friends and family. I'm not going to say to my boss at work, nope, when he asks me something, but amongst friends and family, it's really chill. There's not too much meaning behind this one. It's just a replacement for no. For example, "Did you finish the movie?" "Nope." Number 11, also another replacement for no, is simply nah. Nah. I'd say this is one of the most relaxed and laid back ways to say no, just saying nah. Again, I would avoid using this in any formal situations. It's very casual, not appropriate to say to my teacher or my boss at work, nah, when they're asking me something. But again, with friends and family, it's fine. You can say nah. For example, "Want to play tonight?" "Nah." Number 12, still just as casual, but maybe a little more formal, is "not really." This is more so used when giving your opinion on something. For example, "Do you like spicy food?" "Not really." This is really common amongst friends, but again, I need to call out, in those formal situations, you do need to be careful. Let's move on to some strong or emotional refusals, starting with absolutely not. This is very firm and serious. It's clear, strong, maybe even a little angry. This is very appropriate when talking about rules or setting boundaries on certain things. For example, "Can I cheat off your test?" Absolutely not. If we do want to tone things down a little bit, we can use "no way." Now, a call out for this, tone again is very important. The way we say "no way" versus "no way" can be very drastically different. It can be perceived as playful or serious. A playful example might be if someone says to me, "Oh, you're definitely going to get 100% on the test." To be humble, I might say, "No way." But in a more serious tone, if someone says to me, "Oh, just throw your trash on the street," I'm going to respond, "No way." And that brings us to our last way to say no in this video. Sitting at number 15 is not a chance. This is a confident way to give a complete refusal about something. Again, this can have different meanings depending on how you say it. It can be smug or it can be humble. By smug, I mean you're very confident about something. For example, someone says to me, I can beat you in a fight, but I know I'll win that fight. So I'll say, not a chance. Or as an opposite, you can be quite humble with it. If a friend says to me, I bet you can eat 3 entire pizzas all by yourself, I'm gonna reply with, not a chance. I'm being humble. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll try it after recording this video. Nah, not a chance. Okay, now after all 15 of our different ways to say no in English, it's quiz time. I want you to put your answer in the comments. I'll ask a question, I'll give you a few seconds, write your answer, and then I will reveal the answer. So our question is, in what scenario is it not suitable to say nah? A, at work when talking to your boss. B, casually with your friends. C, when talking to your pet dog. Or D, at a family gathering. Quickly put your answer in the comments. The answer is A, at work to your boss. It's not professional and a bit too casual for work. Obviously, this depends on your relationship with your boss. Some bosses might be cool. Maybe the type of work you do is a more chill vibe. But in general, avoid using nah in professional or formal situations. You don't want to seem disrespectful. Great job on making it all the way to the end of the video. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite new way to say no? Is it nah? Is it maybe another time? Let me know. Actually, it might look a bit weird if there's a lot of comments that just say no, not a chance, nah. Do it anyway, it might be funny. As always, like the video if you learned something, and don't forget to subscribe for more English conversation examples.